Focus. I'm Councilmember Mark Stewart. I'm here today with Athletic Director and Director of Student Discipline, Marcus Williams. How are you, Marcus?
Thank you for having me.
Well, no, thank you for coming and letting us be a part of the Perry Gym here. I know that Chandler Unified School District is a big proponent for student athletes and education and things like that. So I want to kind of delve into a little bit about what makes the program successful and find out a little bit about you. Maybe tell us a little bit about your background. You're an Arizona native, right?
I am. I'm an Arizona native by the way of Tempe. I went to Tempe McClintock, then had the opportunity to earn a full ride scholarship to play football at Arizona State. I was there from '93 to '98. Had a wonderful opportunity playing with Pat Tillman, Jake Plummer, Keith Poole, Juan Roque, and then several other teammates of mine that made that experience amazing, unforgettable.
Keith still lives in Chandler, yeah?
He does. He actually has students in the district, and he runs Keith Poole's training zone, which a lot of our student athletes go to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's definite. So from there, from Arizona State, I wanted to pursue an NFL career. So I was bouncing around. Went to NFL Europe. Was in a couple of training camps, one with the Cardinals, one with the Patriots. Couldn't lock in the spot on the 53-man roster, but again, it was a great experience. Yeah, it was a great experience. Ended up as a security guard when I was trying to do that at McClintock, who then their former principal is current Perry's principal, Mr. Serrano.
Oh yeah.
Befriended him, and actually he led as one of my mentors as far as my educational path. He was an athletic director. He taught special education, and as you know now, he's a principal here in Chandler. He was at Tempe McClintock, but from there I ended up teaching special education at Marcos Deniza for 7 years. Coached basketball, coached football, a little bit of golf. Earned my master's in special education, and then had opportunity to earn a second master's in educational leadership. Wow. Then I had an opportunity to open up Williamsfield High School, and that kind of began my athletic directing career, if you will. I'm now currently on my 11th year in athletic administration. I had 3 at Williamsfield, 2 here at Perry, and now I'm in my 6th year as a district AD.
Wow, that's amazing. I can tell you love it. And I talk to a lot of people about their why. And so your why is, I can clearly tell you like being around kids, but of course you've got athletics in your blood. So that's pretty remarkable. And you're relatively young, I would imagine, for an AD.
Well, thank you for that.
For this big of a school district, too. I mean, this is huge. And the success that our school districts have found, and both Kyrene and Chandler Unified, has been absolutely amazing. So congratulations on that. I wanted to ask you real quick, though, there's some new programs that have began at Chandler Unified, and especially within the athletics department and student discipline as well. Can you kind of delve into a little bit about those and kind of tell
the specific programs, or the discipline piece as well as my athletic piece?
Why don't we just stick with the athletic piece? Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we do have, every year we try to create more programs for our student athletes, male or female or both. I would say a few years ago we added beach volleyball into Chandler Unified. We're one of the few districts that comprehensively had all of their schools join in. It was an emerging sport with the AIA. Now it's an official AIA sport. So every single high school has beach volleyball, and again, it's due to the student body, the student interest, the community interest. There's Division I scholarship in beach volleyball. We actually have a couple students that have received Division I scholarships through participation of beach volleyball. In addition to that, we added a softball team at Arizona College Prep, the Erie campus, the high school campus. Kelly Sadie is a softball coach there and has done a tremendous job. They've made it to state playoffs 2 of the last 2 years. Added football at ACP. This is their first year.
I know.
First year having football, and it's been a tremendous success because, again, we try to reach out to find the whole comprehensive high school experience. And that'd be if you're involved in extracurricular activities, if it's fine arts, if it's a CTE program, if it's band, if it's a sport. That's the extension of the classroom, the complete high school experience that we try to encourage every student and parent to be a part of.
Well, you touched a little bit on state championships, so I'm going to go right at it. So CUSD and Chandler Athletics seems to win state in just about everything these days. What do you attribute that success to?
I would say there's a lot of different factors to that, and the biggest thing I want to get back to is community. We have a wonderful community in Chandler in the East Valley. We have a growth of population. We have tons of student participation. Junior high school and high school sports alone, we had over 8,000 students. Roughly 3,000 participate at the junior high school level and roughly 5,000 students at the high school level. With those numbers, they're going to breed a lot of success, a lot of great athletes. We do our best to hire the best coaches out there. We have a lot of opportunities to hire great coaches. We have great programs through our community ed department, through camps and clinics. We have opportunities to pretty much compete and play year round. Yeah. Then there's club sports. It's one of those necessary evils, if you will. I mean, it's something, depending on who you talk to, it's a wonderful opportunity to play year round. And then the others, well, it might specialize student athletes, but I think we have a good communication with our coaches, trying not to burn out athletes, encourage them to play multiple sports. Sure. But in the East Valley, it is a hotbed of athletes. And we are fortunate to get a lot of those athletes within our district. And then when you have that amount of athletes within your talent pool, you're going to breed good athletic programs at the junior high school and the high school level. Now, I will say we do compete in the Premier Region, which is our Chandler schools, our big Chandler schools, and then Xavier Brophy. So more often than not, whoever's going to come out of that region has a really good chance or strong chance to compete for a state championship. We mentioned Castile a little bit earlier when we were talking before we started shooting, yeah. And then ACP. Again, it's just a good environment that provides a great academic and great athletic experience.
You talk about academics a little bit, and academics are huge. Now, one of the reasons that, my kids play sports is, one, we want them to stay busy, and mm-hmm. two, I think there's a requirement, right? Isn't there, for most kids to play? To be able to play on these teams, they have to keep a certain grade point average and things like that. So it feels like Chandler Unified, it's academics first. When I'm around student athletes, I know with my kids, when they come back and talk about their coaches and what they talk about, academics seem extremely important. Is that something that you stress?
Absolutely. I mean, we have, in essence, no pass, no play piece, but a lot of our coaches take that to the next level. We provide a lot of opportunities for study halls, for group learning, different programs. Take it, they put their own pulse, their own climate on their own program, and some programs might stress, okay, if you have a C or a D, you cannot play. It's a C minimum in order to participate within certain programs. But definitely academics is always stressed, and it comes before any type of practice or any type of game, because at the end of the day, if you're not eligible academically, you're not going to play athletically.
Right. I think that's important for, and I'm sure you guys share this information with kids. And I know this as a parent of a junior that goes to school here, but the academics piece sometimes is the first thing that many college coaches are looking at before they look at your athletics, because it's just you're splitting hairs sometimes, unless a kid's a true talent. Are you finding that to be the case?
Yeah, you're right on. Even if he is a true talent or she is a true talent, the NCAA every year is increasing the requirements to get that Division I scholarship, or those scholarships, as far as how many classes you have to complete by the end of your junior year, how many retakes you can take, a certain GPA you must have, a certain SAT or ACT score you must acquire due to your GPA. So that's being done collegiately, that's trickling down to our high schools, but our counselors at each school does a great job communicating that expectation to the AD and to the coaches to make sure that our parents are informed on what their student athlete needs to do in order to participate outside of high school if that's their desire.
That's amazing. You mentioned, I'm glad you corrected me when you said he, she. Female athletics in Chandler are off the charts now, and Chandler Unified and Kyrene as well. But can you kind of talk a little bit about participation in female athletics and
Yeah. Almost half of our student athlete participation is our female athletes, and going back to the schools, they do a tremendous job creating programs for our female athletes. If it's a sport-specific athletic training course or strength and conditioning. Currently here at Perry, they have an undefeated badminton team getting ready for state, but then Coach Joe Ellen Boone is one of the teachers on campus who is their strength coach and created a
Coach Boone? Oh, I've heard stories.
A comprehensive training program for our female athletes, and that's similar across the district. There's opportunities if it's an athletic locker, an athletic academy where students can practice or hone their skill during the school day, and then there's outside the school day with the practices and the extra lifting, et cetera. And going back to what I said earlier, participation numbers are tremendous. I have a daughter in the district, and even before she was in junior high school, the whole club piece that we talk about, we're in the East Valley. It is uber competitive in every sport, male and female. But as a parent, you feel, okay, well, I have to get her some type of training in before she reaches her 7th grade tryouts, because at almost any school in the district, there's anywhere from 50 to 90 girls trying out for 7th grade volleyball. And the vast majority of those 12 to 15 girls who make the team, they have some type of club or outside of school competition, so they can try to create that level of competitiveness that is needed to make those teams. So again, I'll go back to the community, the East Valley, the club sport influence, and then just strictly the participation numbers and the programs that our schools build to create this growth in female sports in Chandler.
You touched a little bit on community involvement a little bit earlier, and I know that's a huge piece of it. From the parents driving the kids back and forth to donations to everything that goes into building programs, both at the club level and at the high school and junior high level. But one of the things I wanted to ask you about was safety. I know that's a huge piece of especially high school athletics, and we're getting farther down the road as it relates to, and I'm specifically thinking about concussions from football and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about that, and maybe we'll take a little break and then we'll come back and maybe talk a little bit about concussion protocol and things like that?
Yeah, so safety comes in many forms. I mean, I'll do the whole gamut of it. So we have our emergency response plans that are on every single campus. If there's a threat to the school, if there's a fire drill, whatnot, students continuously do those protocols and practices to make sure they're safe. That does go out to the athletic sport. So if there is a football practice and there is a threat, then we know what to do in those types of things. We do have supervision during practices, during games, during the school day. We communicate those with coaches continuously. As far as our student athlete care, as far as standard of care for treatment, I believe we are second to none in that. My first year in the district, I took a whole year going over our policy and concussions and concussion management and seeing how we can be more comprehensive and complete the circle as far as, okay, what are we delivering, what are we offering, I should say, our community in regard to student safety. Completely revamped our concussion policy that is per state statute in law during the return to play protocol, getting the appropriate physicals and everything within the district. We have partnered with Dignity Health, so each high school campus.
Great community partner.
Yeah, great community partner, and through that partnership, we have our site-based trainer is usually a CUSD employee who teaches our sports med courses, and then they are also a certified trainer. And then our partnership with Dignity, we have another trainer that is either half-time or full-time to assist the site regarding any type of student-athlete need. And within that partnership, again, we have Mercy Gilbert, we have Chandler Regional, we have Ortho Arizona, we have tons of doctor and care regardless of whatever injury it is, as far as getting our students in to be seen by specialists pretty rapidly, and it's all stick to policy. Of course, families can go to their own private, physicians and everything, but if they were looking for guidance and for that standard of care, we do have it within our sports medicine team.
Well, it's fantastic to hear that you guys are paying attention to that. That is an important piece of what we do and what you do.
I will add this too. Sorry to cut you off.
No, please.
We also have at our junior high school sports for competitions. Part of our contract with Dignity is that we have an athletic trainer at those competitions, because more often than not, junior high school sports and athletic trainers okay, well that's pretty cumbersome as far as financially, but through our contract we have ability to send some of our dignity trainers to cover all those athletic events.
Wow, that's a lot of events.
Yeah, and they have a point person or an athletic trainer that will immediately reach their needs if a student, turns ankle in practice or needs to see some type of specialist in that regard. So it's a wonderful partnership, and again, it's due to that safety piece that you brought up.
Well, we're lucky. Let's take a little break. Maybe we'll take a little tour, check out a couple places here on campus.
Sounds good.
Hey, welcome back to Chandler in Focus. I'm Councilmember Mark Stewart. I'm here with Athletic Director and Director of Discipline for Chandler Unified School District, Marcus Williams. Thanks again for meeting me today. I wanted to ask you a few more questions about Chandler Unified School District, the athletic program, how it incorporates into the student life, and how it helps prepare our kids for life in the real world or in college or whatever they choose to do after school. You mentioned something on the break about character matters, and so this is the first time I've heard about it. Maybe you could delve into what that means.
Yeah, so this year, and I would say we're probably one of the only school districts in the state, one of the very few in the whole country that has a comprehensive 7th through 12th grade athletic-based character education program. Our junior high schools, we do Positive Coaching Alliance. And then our high schools, we do Character Matters. Castile does Character Matters because they're a 7-12 underneath one building. But breaking it down, Positive Coaching Alliance is a global company. I had the opportunity to work with Hillary Nelson and Rich Tomey through their organization, and they created and crafted a character education program just for our junior high school sports. As you know, having a student that played in the EVC or in junior high school sports within the district, those seasons are very condensed. So they put together a 6 to 7 week program that buys into the ideals of PCA. They work on making yourself better, making your teammates better, and making
PCA.
Positive Coaching Alliance.
Okay.
Yeah, so making yourself better, making your teammates better, and making the sport better. So they have character-based lessons that coaches deliver their student athletes. It could be a quick pregame speech, or it could be an hour-long program based off of the curriculum that they're provided. Great responses so far. They're able to nominate student athletes for character competitor of the week or the season through PCA, and it's just been tremendous for our young athletes. High school level, it's more robust because our high school seasons are a lot longer. We go through Character Matters through Wade Salem. It's in essence a turnkey program. He is a theme-based, acronym-based program. He already has around 13 curriculums. This year's theme is Go the Distance. So every letter in Go the Distance, there's a theme. So for G, it might be gratitude. So then there's a curriculum based off of gratitude, and coaches can take it to the nth degree. You may have seen on Twitter a lot of students holding up a sheet of paper that says Go the Distance, might say Character Matters, and might say gratitude on that. That student was awarded gratitude character competitor of the week, or for that theme of the week. And it just, again, it goes back to the teaching educational values. It teaches gratitude. One thing that some of our coaches do over at Chandler High School, Coach Iguano has been doing Character Matters for years, and for about an hour to 2 hours a week, he meets with his whole football team. They dress for the occasion, they bring their parents in, and for gratitude, they had fathers pretty much standing up in front of the whole team, tell them why they're grateful for their student athlete, and then vice versa back to their dad. And,
wow.
And those types of things sometimes get lost in the uber competitive nature of sport, wanting to hold up that gold ball or whatever it may be, that gold trophy at the end of the year. And this is a refocused on that district-wide, and it's been tremendous, both 7 through 12, and we've received tons of support and just tons of thanks as far as creating that type of program for our students.
That's remarkable. I tell you what, when I think about growing up in sports as a kid and what you're talking about right there, that's the real reason why I think
Absolutely.
we put our kids in sports. And well, tell me a little bit though, what if your kid isn't blessed with, like I had to work my butt off when I was a kid because I wasn't very good at much, but I studied the games because I wanted to be around it. What does a kid do in CUSD if he wants to be part of the athletic program, but maybe he doesn't make a team? Are there other avenues for them?
Yeah, there's various avenues. I mean, we have a great community ed department that has programs, intramural programs that they're continuously developing through Jim Grosso, who's new to our district. There's a lot of different pieces at the school. We've known athletes that join the sports medicine program. So it might not be the direct sport, but now they're the athletic trainer or the student trainer for that sport. We have a very good CTE program, and we have a video production and journalism program to where could be student journalists, they could be live streaming our game on CUSD Live. I don't know if you know about it, but we do have student broadcasts where our students with their CTE teachers are actually filming, live streaming competitions on Friday nights, or it could be a badminton match or a swim meet or a signing day, which students have taken to that next level because, again, it's them doing that real world experience that you can't get in the classroom. They're actually filming it. And it's honestly very interesting to see because a few years ago when I started within the district, we didn't really have that piece to it, but I've worked with a lot of CTE teachers and then went out and viewed these students actually do these broadcasts. Just imagine you're being at a high school football game. It's 6:50, kickoff's at 7, and you're missing a cord that you need to connect to the Wi-Fi or to the internet, the hard line, whatever in the press box, and you're scrambling around and time's ticking. So you see real life experience that these students are engaging in. In addition to that, we have a wonderful unified sports program. Jessica Peacock is our unified sports lead. She has created a junior high school and high school unified sports program, and that's for students with intellectual disabilities, and they're partnered up with a student athlete or an athlete on campus. They go through the same clearance process as all of our other athletes do. They compete. If you haven't been to a unified sports event, that could be anywhere from flag football to basketball to soccer to track and field to spirit line, and there's more that are adding every year. I would really encourage you to go because it is a great environment, and it's truly a pure form of sport, if you will.
Yeah, I'm sure there's quite a connection between the student athlete and the young person that's part of that organization. I think I remember Cole being a part of that one when he was at Santan Junior High. You know, I'm absolutely blown away by all the things we've talked about today. I mean, from just the overall success of the program to the many different things like we just talked about with kids with special needs, et cetera. I mean, CUSD athletics is going above and beyond, at least it seems to me. What do you see for Chandler Unified, or let's just say high school athletics and junior high athletics? What do you see 5, 10, 20 years down the road? Where do you see it taking? I know we kind of gave you a preface before we got in here, but that's something that I'm always intrigued by is where is the river going to flow? What's going to happen down the way?
Well, that's a very hard question to answer.
We need to happen.
Yeah, I know, and I think it's based per community. I mean, we're very fortunate in Chandler and the East Valley to have great participation numbers. Yeah, Chandler Unified we are riding high academically, athletically, and we have reached a lot of success, and that's with our great community, our great student participation, the club programs that our students are involved in, and those are an integral part of it. I really can't tell you where club sports is going to go. As you know, we're a big proponent of multi-sport athletes. One piece that I really like focusing on is interscholastic or educationally based athletics. That's what the high school experience is about. Yes, I do believe there's a role for club sports, but that's not interscholastic athletics, and sometimes those two merge, where I think the lesson or the vision is lost. I mean, we're going at a high school campus to where you have students from all over, not just a specialized team, to create a team to play for that school. And I think the good character education programs in it, the buy-in with students that you see on Twitter, you see on any campus, they have Twitter pages that say, hey, let's do this theme night for this game. Mm-hmm. Let's get everybody there. We have our great parent boosters that are trying to get the wants of the program, if they're going to travel out of state, if it's a new uniform or different needs that the coach may have that's in addition to what the coach already has. So that type of piece is building that community and bringing it in to deliver the interscholastic, educationally based athletic program, which I am always going to be a proponent for. Yes, again, there is a role for club, but I like to keep those separate.
Absolutely.
I do believe that the playing field is the extension of the classroom. You're part of something that's bigger than yourself. Mm-hmm. You're playing for your brother or your sister, and it is honestly the most intimate environment when you're playing in a basketball game when all your peers are around. Mm-hmm. That's like no other, because when you do go off to college, and you do play in a bigger setting, if you will, you don't really know who your audience is. A lot of people may see it, but it's not as intimate as, you know, going into your math class the next day and seeing, you know, 20 of your friends saying, hey, I saw you did great. And that's who you're playing for, something that's bigger than yourself. I can't answer your question directly, but what I hope 5 to 10 to 20 years is that is never lost, is that where high school sports, junior high school sports can stay with the high schools, our coaches can coach and do what they are empowered to do. Our parents can support those athletic programs. Our site administration can try to drive that to say, okay, here's how we can boost our particular school up. How district administration can really see what our sites are doing and support them, going to our superintendency and our governing board, which in my opinion has done a tremendous job of, you know, completing that circle to making CUSD where it's at today.
I wanted to thank you, Marcus, for taking the time to share with us and with the Chandler community all about CUSD athletics and athletics in general and how it incorporates into our lives and to the student life here in Chandler Unified. So that's all I've got for today, and thanks very much.
Thank you.